Oh, my Lanta. Boom! What's going on, everyone? Steve Larsen. Very excited for today. Very excited that you guys are here. Holy crap, we are in the final week of this challenge. You guys excited? No, can you guys hear me okay? You guys can hear me all right? My ears are bleeding. Good! All right. What's up, my friends? I am very, very pumped for today. Very excited for this. This is where, right, you actually make it rain. Okay, now the first time I ever built a product, you guys know the story by now. I built a product. It took me 8 months. I launched it. No one bought it. And it took me, I think, another 4 months for purchases to actually start coming in. And it was stressful, guys. It sucked. It was so hard because I was spending all this time. I was spending all this, right? And it was hard for me to justify that to loved ones, to family, to friends, to people that are not seeing me for a while. Right, and some of you guys are in that scenario right now, and I totally get it. Totally get it. Right, so the rubber meets the road here. And this is where you actually have to make a shift. Okay, now this is what I've noticed. This is what I've learned from a lot of entrepreneurs at this point. Okay, how many guys like building the thing? How many guys how many guys are enjoying actually building the funnel right now? You guys liking it? Yep. Yes, very much. Like, it's fun, right? How many, right, this first time getting in ClickFunnels, you're building it, like, is it cool to hit save and preview and that page is up? I mean, that's a huge deal, right? That's a huge, huge deal, right? It's super, super fun, super fun. My favorite thing to do is to just put on headphones and I will completely tune out and I will go build for days, okay, literally. And I'll sit in my cave right here, and I'll just build and build and build and build and build. And just like the back end is a little bit stressful, yeah. And you'll get it. It's just keep it simple in the head and understand that we had to design it in a way that Russell Brunson could actually make it successful as well. That's not a joke. That's not a jab at him, okay. But the joke at ClickFunnels is that if Russell can pull it off, it means it's ready for the public, okay? He is the CEO of a giant tech company, but he is probably the least techie person I've ever met in my life, okay? So if he can pull it off, we know you guys can as well. Some of you guys, right, it's just the first time you're seeing it, and just stick with it. I know you'll get it. It'll be great, okay? Okay, but there is a shift that happens right now as the entrepreneur. I love building the thing, okay? I love building the thing. And when I first started building that product, and the product started working, and I started making money, guess what I did, right? I was like, sweet, it's making money. What's the itch you guys can all guess would start to come up? Oh man, I gotta go spend. Yeah, you spend it all. You know, don't do that, right? Lambos. What's the itch? And I'm like, I gotta go build something again, right? Yeah, Roger, exactly. I gotta build another one. How do I gotta build this thing. How do I build it? I got another itch. I got another scratch. I haven't built anything forever. Oh my gosh, woo. And this is the part where I see that most entrepreneurs, right, will drop the ball. And it has nothing to do with the fact that their funnel wasn't good, right? Good enough to make sales, or good enough of an offer to actually convert, good enough of a sales message to convert people and sell people. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the entrepreneur's focus, right? That's it. And they have to go in, and there's really 2 phases that I mentally am thinking about. And it's so that I can mentally prepare for this shift. Guys, there is a build phase, and there is a harvest phase, okay? And the shift from build phase to harvest phase is right here at this week. And that's where you have to go to. And you have to understand and flip the switch, okay? Because we're all creative people, right? Or we like to be creative, or at least we have this flurry of new ideas all the time, right? In some fashion or form. Okay? And what kills a lot of entrepreneurs is they're like, I have to scratch this itch somehow, and I need to go back and build another funnel. Okay? And I started building more and more funnels. And I was like, how come it's not working anymore? How come that's not happening over there anymore either? And what ended up happening was my revenue was like, woo, during the launch, and then it just totally died. Okay, completely died. I was like, what's happening? Is the funnel game over? Was that the funnel bubble? Is the funnel bubble done? Right? And that was the big fear of mine. And I went back, and after a while, I started realizing, I was like, oh my gosh, it's not the funnel. I literally am not focusing on this anymore. Be like, huh, when's the last time I did a pitch? Or when's the last time I went and did X, Y, and Z? And I was like, crap, right? The revenue, gone. Okay? And it's because the focus was gone. So just mentally prepare for that. Okay, don't stop your creativity flow. Just shift it from build phase to harvest phase. And so what's fun about this game and this week and this phase, the harvest phase, is that your creativity goes into, instead of building, different ways to get traffic. Okay, and that's what this entire week is about. Otherwise, I've seen a lot of people die just because of one thing. Not because it wasn't great, not because they weren't sitting on a 2 Comma Club funnel, not because they weren't, it's because of their mere focus. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so that's the whole idea behind it, is that when you go in, so what this week is all about is different ways to harvest. Okay, I cannot die. Exactly. About 4 months ahead of time, about 4 months after I launched it, that's when I actually started getting consistent traffic in. And the way I did it was not through paid advertising. And I made this big mistake. Okay, I made a huge mistake. It was so dumb, guys. It was so juvenile of me the first time I launched my own funnel. I'm not trying to like be woe is me all the time, but I'm hoping that my experiences will shortcut some pains so you don't have to run through it. Okay. This is what happened. This is what happened. I started going in and I started going into forums, and I started going to different Facebook groups. And I started going, and it was a good strategy. And I'd go talk about my thing, and people would buy it, and I'd make these sales, and I was like, "Woo! Look at all these sales coming in. This is awesome." And I remember that I started feeling proud of myself that I was making all this money with no ad spend. And I was listening to some of these courses, and I was like, check this out. All this money's coming in. I don't even have to spend any money. Woo! This is awesome. All right. And I was like, this is so cool. And I remember I was listening to this course, and this guy started making fun of that very thing. And he started making fun of me. Okay? Not me specifically, but my mentality, and basically he was talking about the very belief that I started to harness. I was like, all these sales are coming in, and I'm not spending $1 on ads. This is so freaking cool. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And what ended up happening is on the course, he started saying, look, a true marketer will want to spend as much money as they physically can to acquire customers as quickly as they can. And I remember sitting back there thinking, like, he's right. Okay, he's right. An entrepreneur will want to have spent, a real marketer spends money to acquire people. It's faster. You're gonna pay for your customers somehow, whether it's with money, an ad budget, or it's your time. Okay, and at the time I was getting good at spending time. Okay, but that's not true freedom. That was good cash off the top. So then what I did is I started taking that money and then just dumping it directly back into ads, and suddenly I was removed from the equation, and I could go back to build phase to improve the funnel, or to set other things up over here, or to get the next funnel up and ready to rock so I could upsell everyone in the next thing. Does it make sense? You guys getting this? This is a big key to realize and understand. Okay, and I know, guys, if you had some weird thing happen with ClickFunnels or whatever, just know that's like, I'm glad to see you guys are taking care of it right there. That's great. That's great. Reach out to support. Half the time they'll just log in and do whatever the thing you're trying to do for you. They'll just do it for you, which is awesome. Their ClickFunnels support is amazing. There's over 250 people, I think now, 250 in ClickFunnels, employees. That's crazy. All around the world. Okay, so just go dump on in there, bam, and you can ask them whatever question you want. There's live chat support. There's docs. Anyway, there's tons of stuff. Anyway, it's awesome stuff. Okay, but the whole point I'm trying to say here is that, number one, the first thing I was like, I have this sweet product, therefore I'll make money. No. Traffic is money. Remember that. Traffic is money. Traffic is the money. The product's not the money. The funnel's not the money, right? The script is not the money. The traffic is the money. The money, that's the thing coming in and actually making the money happen. So building it is not enough. So you have to psychologically prep yourself that know that, hey, I'm about to exit build phase. Entrepreneurial itch inside of me, don't freak out. All my creativity, bam, straight into how to acquire more traffic. Right? So this week, what you're going to go in, you're going to learn, just like Russell talks about in today's lesson, you're going to learn more about how to, the traffic you control, traffic you earn, and traffic that you own. Those are the 3 kinds of traffic. The goal being to own all kinds of traffic. Okay? And as you start getting more people in, as you start, right, actually, funneling, funny enough, as you start getting more traffic, right, the goal is to own more so that you can upsell to the next thing. And that's truly where people go nuts and make a whole bunch of cash with it. But do not think for a second that because you got sales without spending money, that's a win. It is a win. I'm just trying to help you know, like, that's not freedom. Freedom is when you have a machine that you can dump money back into, $1 in and get $2 back out. $1 in, $2 back out. $1 in, $2 back out. That's when it was awesome for me. And that's when I could sit back and be like, what's up? Babe, we're going to go buy some new stuff right now. Oh, what's up? And I look at my phone. And I was like leaving like Stripe ding like notifications on. So it's like ding 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 ding. I'm like, what's up? Oh, ain't nothing but a thing, babe, right? And we'd go buy and we'd go get something. I'm like, the business is paying for this. What's up? It's a business expense, right? Anyway, hopefully that's making sense. You should not. Please don't marry the mentality that spending no money is a win. Okay, it's the first step to real freedom. The win comes from when you can successfully put $1 in, get $2 back out, right? Break even on that funnel, and just be willing to go create the next thing to upsell them. Bam! New life, matched income in your current 9 to 5. That's a huge deal. Someone said you can never count on free traffic. There's always the algorithm change somewhere here and there. Paid traffic is consistent. 100%, right? You were spot on. He's exactly right, because if you could go in, like, right, Zuckerberg could go in and change something in the algorithm and it all goes away, right? Or I could go in and I could be using Google ads and suddenly one thing changes there and then it all goes away. Okay, so what you have to understand, what you have to be good at, is your focus shifts from build phase to harvest phase. But instead, right, you're harvesting money off the top, you're getting money in, you're building traffic systems. Okay, that's what you're building in. So you're just finding additional ways to come in and bring more and more traffic. That's what your obsession shifts to. That's how you keep yourself from going nuts, as the entrepreneur in us always wants to go in and create something new or change something or throw a rock in something that wasn't, you know what I mean? Anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I'm really pumped about it. Now, real quick, all I want to do real quick is I just want to cover something that Russell talked about here. Remember, the list is the asset. The list is the asset. He says in the training something that's very profound. He says, look, when you can get to about 10,000 people on your list, that's typically when you start hitting about a 6-figure business. That's really where financial freedom begins to really take hold, if you get 10,000 people on your list. So there's all these cool strategies you can go to use to, like, start getting lists, right? Focus on list building. The purpose of the funnel is a list. It's a list of buyers, a list of qualified individuals coming on in. So what I like to do, there's 2 things, and I don't want to go too deep in this, okay? But I just want you guys to know this, okay? There's 2 lists that I like to run each funnel on, okay? You guys are going in and you are creating your funnel, right? This front end funnel, this break-even funnel. And it's to get people to come in, to opt in. Now, are all those people going to buy after they opt into your squeeze page? No, they're not. Okay, there's 2 lists, therefore, that I run everything off of. Okay, the first list is the list, right, of people who just come in and they opt in on the squeeze page. Okay, let me draw this. I'm visual. Everyone else visual. I'm visual. Let's make sure. Let me draw this here real quick. Okay. Okay, check this out. Okay, so there's 2 lists. I just want to teach you a little list management stuff here real quick. And this is not to stress you out. I just want you to know how I do this so that it doesn't get convoluted or crazy or all over the place or whatever, okay? Okay. So again, let's say that you've got your squeeze page right up here. Squeeze page is right there, right? You got your sales page. Boom. OTO. Boom. Let's say another one. So you got the downsell right there, and then the thank you page. There's 2 lists that I run everything off of. Each funnel mentally, that's what I'm running people on. And then they all got a lead to a third. Okay. Now I'm just teaching you this so that you understand more about how I run this. This is not to stress anybody out, but this will help you tremendously as you move forward here. One of the things that I had to do when I first got to ClickFunnels was Russell. I walked in one day and Russell turns over to me and he goes, "Hey, Steven, will you go and will you clean up all of our lists?" And I was like, you can imagine Russell's list. It's like 500,000 people, you know, it's like a gigantic list. And he's got lists all over the place, lists on top of lists, lists for the list, 2 lists that came together and made another list, right? The list that's cousin with that list. It was freaking everywhere, okay? There's lists all over the place. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Okay, bring it on, right? Give me your hardest thing, dude. And he's like, well, that's the hardest thing I've got for you. I was like, sweet, give it to me. And so what I had to go do is I had to go in and create list management kind of rules to keep it simple in the back end of ClickFunnels. So you can imagine how many funnels Russell builds, and he's got he's got hundreds of people working for him. He's got these huge teams, content teams, funnel building teams. He's got teams over on the side that are fulfilling, teams on the other side that are just making content for the fulfilling, right? It's a massive operation, right? And you don't have to go this big, but what I just want to teach you guys real fast, lists, just real quick, okay? So check this out. If I go in, there's a few, I think of lists as buckets, right? And based on what they do, I move them from one bucket to the next. And I'm bringing this up. This is not something I normally go through right now, but a lot of you guys ask this to me. How do you manage lists? So I'm just going to tell you this. Everyone promise not to get stressed. Let me come over here real quick. All right, sweet. Thank you, I suck at lists. Yeah, right? It's not an easy thing, so I just want to tell you how I did it for at ClickFunnels here. And this is how it happened. Okay, so let's say right here on the squeeze page, what are they doing? Right, they're opting in. Sweet. All right, cool. Well, that is the first list. Okay, that's the first list. And I call it, let's say that we were selling, let's say this funnel up here is called, I don't know. This is the dog food funnel. Okay, let's say you got an info product about dog food, and there's a lady I was coaching once. That's what she did, and she made homemade organic dog food, and she would deliver it to all the people locally. I was like, sweet. So I got to help her put those things together, and so the first thing that I add her to is the dog food opt-in list. So that's what I call this list here. This is how I name things to keep it simple. I'm awesome at different naming conventions. I'm not different. This is how I do it to keep it super, super simple. Okay. Now, part of the dog food opt-ins funnel or list right here, right? This is a list. Okay. There's gonna be a whole bunch of automation, and all this automation, right? The first day is gonna be pushing them back up to the sales page, right? Next day. Each one of these has got like an email, right? And there's a sequence going out. Right? We call it a soap opera sequence. And every one of these emails is pushing them back to the sales page. Make sure you get signed up. Make sure you get make sure you get the thing, right? Oh, 2 days left, 1 day left, 2 hours left, go, right? And that kind of thing, that's how we do it. And we'll push them back into the sales page. Now, what do you do with them afterwards, though? Okay, well, what I do is I like to add them to like an overall giant list. We call it the Seinfeld list. And I'm not trying to get too deep into this, but if you guys have read the book .com Secrets, which I highly suggest if you have not done that, okay, that book changed my life. I'm not just saying that, it truly did. Okay, so there's one giant list that all funnels lead to, and it is what we call the Seinfeld list. Okay, now the Seinfeld list is it's like a big billboard. Okay, it's the place where everyone ends up at. They'll come in through some funnel, but everyone ends eventually landing in the Seinfeld list. That way, when I've got a new product, or I've got some special promo, or I've got some kind of thing coming out here, all I got to do is just send an email directly to the Seinfeld list, because other people might be inside still running through this sequence. I don't want to interrupt them. Hey, let me distract you from buying this thing that I've been trying to come get you to come buy, and come buy this other thing. It's like, no, right? They're inside of this funnel. So if I've got this new thing, or let's say I've gone and I've created my back end product, this more expensive thing where I really take my profit, I'm sending it to the Seinfeld list. Okay, because eventually, let's see what, immediately this email gets sent out. Day 1, 24 hours later, that gets sent out. 48 hours, that gets sent out, right? 3 days later, this one gets sent out. 4 days, 5 days. So let's say on day 7, and this is all automated in ClickFunnels, okay? All automated in ClickFunnels. On day 7, I just make a rule. And the rule in ClickFunnels, in the Automations tab, says, okay, on day 7, add them to my Seinfeld list. That's it. Okay? Day 7, add that contact to my Seinfeld list. I now have added people to my general giant list. You guys getting it? Day 8, what I do is I make another rule. And the rule here is to remove them from the current list. All I did is I transferred contacts, right? I transferred one contact from one list to the next. That way I know that they're either still in the dog food funnel and I'm trying to sell them, or they are in the Seinfeld list and I can talk to them about other stuff because I'm not going to distract them, right? I'm not going to try and sell them 2 things at the same time. A confused mind is always a no. They will not buy, right? People can disagree with you. They can never misunderstand you, okay? That's a big note right there, okay? They can never, they can disagree with you. They can never misunderstand you, okay? And so if I'm coming in and I'm starting to, let's say I've got some new cool product, whatever, and they're still on day 3 of this thing, it's confused. Like, what? I thought you wanted me to come buy this thing. Like, what? That makes sense? Okay, so that's 2 of the 3 lists. The third list that I have them come into is right here. Okay, check this out. That's another list right there. And this is my dog food, dog food buyers. Right, this is my buyers list. If this is the sales page, the only way to progress to the OTO is if they made a purchase. So what I do, again, all automated in ClickFunnels, okay, all automated. All I do is I add them to this list if they purchase, okay? Only if they purchase, because I want to talk to my buyers differently, okay? And I definitely want to upsell. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer is a buyer is a buyer, right? There's only two reasons somebody stops buying from you. Number one reason, you offend them. Number two, you stop selling them, okay? So if I know they're buyers, woo, baby, right? That is my hot list, okay? That is hot list. Those are specifically the people I'm going to try and upsell on the back end on my other stuff, you know, up here on the value ladder, okay? Getting it? Okay, so they're only ever a possibility of being on two lists ever. You are either in the opt-in list where you're in the middle of a sequence that's automatically trying to sell them. Sell, 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 sell. If they don't, bam, they're going to get added down to the Seinfeld list, right? Second option is if they buy. Now, I don't ever remove them from the buyer list, ever. If they bought, woo, that's a huge sign, right? Massive, massive sign. So the first thing I do, right, I'm just adding them to a list, okay? After that sequence is done, I will add them to the Seinfeld list, where they will reside forever, unless they opt out themselves, okay? The other thing, though, is I'm gonna jump on in and say the possibilities they're on the dog food buyers list, okay? Now, both of them, I'll try and mark it up, right? But there's gonna be times specifically when I just tuck to buyers, right? When I know who are the people who are not the cheapos, who are willing to take their wallet out of their pocket and pay for some value, okay? Versus the people on the Seinfeld list. Okay. Do you have a separate list for hyper buyers? It's a great question. Great question. I used to make a list for when they bought this one, and when they bought this one, and when they bought the downsell. And holy crap, it got so confusing and so convoluted and so all over the place. It was hell. I hated it. It was terrible. It was hard because I was like, there's so duh. Okay, just keep it simple. And I don't do right. If they're over here, they're a buyer anyway. So I don't make that list. I don't make that. This is like the core one. Did they buy something? Sweet. And then I toss it right there. I don't, because guys, forever. Even when I started, it was doing this thing at ClickFunnels and actually where I finally made the rule for myself. I will never, ever, ever make an OTO list. Whoa, right? I'll never, oh my gosh, it gets, unless it's like some special scenario, 9 times out of 10 though, I don't. I just have one. Did they buy? Sweet. Keep them on that list because I'm going to talk to them specially. Okay. And even if they did buy, they're going to end up on the Seinfeld list anyway, right? Everyone who opts in eventually goes to Seinfeld list, but they only stay on the opt-ins one if they're in the middle of the funnel, and they only stay in the buyer if they actually bought. And it was very easy list segregation that really helped me be able to keep it simple in my ClickFunnels account, keep it simple for my marketing, know exactly who I'm talking to, who I'm not talking to, and not interrupt the buying process if they're still probably, for the people probably going to in my follow-up series. That way I don't like say multiple things to them. It's like, no, I just want you to come buy. That's it. That helps me tremendously. So we are in traffic. And I'm just telling you guys this part right here because we're here, right? There's traffic that you own, which is lists. That's specifically this one and that one. Okay, traffic that you own, traffic that you earn, and traffic that you control. Okay, don't fool yourself into thinking that just because you got someone to buy and you've always gotten them for free that's a win. No. The win comes when you're able to put $1 in, get $2 back out, and people are joining your buyers list. Now, right, if we look at a value ladder, right, this funnel resides right here. Now I can upsell them. Everyone who hits my Seinfeld list, or everyone hits the dog food buyers list, in a few days, I can put another sequence to automatically start upselling them to my pure profit zone, that next phase in that value ladder. Okay, big clarification. Hopefully that really helped keep people simple on this. So the buyers be on both lists, buyers and Seinfeld. Yeah, that's the only scenario where they are. Yep, just said that. Yep, that's the only scenario where they are on buyers. They're on the dog food one where they actually did buy. The only other scenario where they can be on any other list is if maybe they're on day 3 still and it's just going to run on out and then eventually they'll be off of that list, or they're on the Seinfeld. Those are the only 2 they stay on. So it's those 3. And now let's say, right, I go in and I have another funnel and it's in this area of the value ladder and it's for more expensive stuff, right? And it looks like that. Well, it's going to be the same thing. This funnel in ClickFunnels will have its own list, right? And it'll have its own buyers list. And after a while, it will automatically add them back over to the Seinfeld list, right? The Seinfeld list is the bucket for the entire value ladder. It's the one that keeps them. That's where all funnels lead, all rivers lead to that spot. And it's super simple, very easy to run. Having it that way, especially when you start sending traffic like we are this week, really helps keep it simple so you know where people are. Then I can log into ClickFunnels and look at my list and be like, oh my gosh, look at this. There's still 77 people inside of this sequence right here. Like, oh, check it out. And there are still, since it's usually higher end, there's 5 people right now that are in this sequence still right here. Does that make sense? And I can see where all these people are coming in from and how much money. This helps like crazy. So do you keep, so do you keep a separate buyers list? Yep, that's what I just said right there. Yep, the separate buyers list. So buyers list for this area, buyers list for this one, buyers list for this one, Seinfeld list for all of them, right? And then an opt-ins list for that one, opt-ins list for that one, opt-ins list for that one. But there's one Seinfeld list only, okay? And all of them lead to it. And they're only ever on, hey, they actually bought this one. Hey, they actually bought this one. Hey, they actually bought this one, okay? Yeah, one big buyers list? Not really. It's a great question, Carrie. So I guess I'm going to have to forget MailChimp and just get ClickFunnels Edison Suite. Hashtag automation. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's so cool. Is because as you start using, all the things inside ClickFunnels, what's cool about it is in ClickFunnels can show you like, oh my gosh, this email, for whatever reason, that's like your most lucrative one. You're like, oh sweet, what did I do there? And then I can go add whatever I did to all these other emails that are going out. Anyway. So hopefully that helps you guys. I just want you to know why that works so well. Yeah, nectar, woo. Okay. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And we're gonna start diving into traffic. So your homework, right? You're gonna go in. You're gonna start prepping your groundwork. Make sure you actually follow what Russell said in the PDF. Julie, it has a video today, which is really cool. She's gonna show you really easy ways to put little tiny hooks all over your social media, all over your email signatures, like little things you can put all across the internet, places you already are, and your customers likely already are also. So how do you put little tiny things there? Is it little email signatures? Is it this? Is it? She's gonna go through and help you guys figure out all these little things throughout and go get it done. Just freaking awesome. And likely, some of you guys are gonna start getting sales before I actually see you guys on tomorrow's call, which is really exciting. So, guys, hopefully you guys have a good day. Very excited for you. This is where the rubber meets the road as far as cash goes. Okay, if you guys are all caught up now, you are ready and worthy to start running traffic on this thing. And when you do it, don't take profit. Right? The goal is to go grab it and dump it back into ads. That's where the true win is, and that is when you actually get to separate yourself from the funnel. Guys, thanks so much. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.